Welcome to Visual Dressage. This video is the half-pass tutorial. Half-passes, travers and renvers. As in our other video examples, we'll start by moving away from the entrance by adding a path into the arena. We'll quickly add a proceed to point sequence to point L. Now add a new sequence to our movement and change the action type to half-pass. In the half-pass 2 pull down, change the direction to right and add in the letter M to the point text box. On the diagram you will see a representation of a half-pass drawn on the diagram. The lines are meant to be a representation of a horse's body in half-pass, with the horse's head turning towards the direction of travel. The program will always try and orientate the horse's body to the nearest 45-degree angle. The direction that the horse's body and head face depends on several factors, including the arena points that you are travelling between. It also depends on whether you have selected half-pass left or half-pass right. The way the diagram is drawn, the representation on the horse's head always faces in the direction of travel. Therefore, the half-pass left or half-pass right settings affect the horse's body in relation to the head. Half-pass right means the horse's head will be turned to the right, and vice versa. If we now change the settings to show a half-pass left rather than half-pass right, you can see this effect. In this example, this probably doesn't look like any movement you would want to do in a real test, but it helps for you to understand how it works. What we are seeing is that the horse's head still points in the direction of travel, but the body is now turned differently. Because the program snaps to the nearest 45-degree angle, you should be able to understand why the body is drawn as it is. However, if we now change the point from R to S, we can see that the half-pass left now works as we would normally want. So let's talk about travers and renvers actions. In dressage, we use the term half-pass to describe a horse moving across a diagonal, whereas a travers is used to describe a horse moving down alongside with quarters in, head and shoulders on the track. However, in both cases, the movement is very similar, in that the horse's head faces the direction of travel and the horse's rear turns inward. So in a manner of speaking, you could say that a half-pass is really a travers on a diagonal, but clearly this is not the language that is used in a dressage test. As far as visual dressage is concerned, when it comes to drawing diagrams, a half-pass and a travers are completely identical. Visual dressage will treat them both in exactly the same way. So, if the program treats them as the same thing, why are they listed as separate items in the pull-down menu, rather than combining them together into a single option? The reason that we have chosen not to merge the actions into one option is that many users would become confused, or assume that we had mistakenly forgotten to include them as separate actions. By including both terms separately, when you are designing or reading your dressage test, you won't need to be deciphering in your head what sort of movement you really want. Similarly, a renvers is really just a mirror image of a travers. In this instance, we decided that because the two used very similar words, that they could be merged into a single item. You change between travers and renvers by changing the pull-down menu, head turn to either travers right, renvers left, or travers left, renvers right, as appropriate to your movement. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please see our website for more tutorials.